We have come to the almost to the end of the discussion. One last question. Many of us actually spent our first decade or even probably a good part of the second decade in investing with very heavy exposure to equities. We didn't really have the kind of asset allocation that we probably recommend now. So, is asset allocation overrated when it comes to a young investor? Many young investors want to do just one asset class, just the way we did it in the 90s and good part of the last decade, between 2000 and 2008 as well. So what's your advice to young people? Do you think that they should do it differently from what we did? And I mean, how do you explain that paradox?
See, I think if there becomes a time when an asset class becomes deeply undervalued, then you bet strongly on that asset class, it works. So as you know very well, 2001-2, equities became deeply undervalued, and we were all beneficiaries of betting on that undervalued asset class in 2001-2. But for that we suffered from 95 to 2001-2, and we were one of the few people who actually kind of had confidence left in 2001-2. Many others had lost their confidence. So I don't know whether everyone has our behavioral confidence in equities at the bottom of the cycle. So I believe whether it is real estate, whether it is equities, if you have the ability at the bottom of the real estate cycle or the bottom of the equity cycle, if you have the ability to take a big bet on the asset class and say, no, I don't need asset allocation, I think I'm in a deeply undervalued asset class and I want to bet big, it will be very beneficial then. But if you don't have that guts, then it's wiser to have asset allocation. If you're asking me, I've benefited by not practicing asset allocation till 2004. And I've benefited by practicing asset allocation after I became a fund manager from 2004 to 2018. Because after 2010, when I became a CIO, I've invested in one NFO and not traded in secondary markets in equity. So I've decided to follow asset allocation principles and I've benefited out of asset allocation principles. But I would say that each person has to, I would say that if you want to make big money, asset allocation principles guarantee you decent money, doesn't guarantee you big money. But asset allocation principles ensure that you don't lose big money. And between 95 and 98, people who didn't practice asset allocation principles lost big money. And between 2017 and 19, whoever had big positions in small caps, they lost big money. So asset allocation is some kind of a principle which ensures people don't lose big money. But at the same time, it also ensures that you can't make mega money. So if you want to violate asset allocation, you can do it, but you have to do it when an asset class is deeply undervalued, which people don't do. They violate asset allocation when an asset class is deeply overvalued, like 2013 in real estate, 2017-18 in small and mid caps. So I've seen violation of asset allocation being done when an asset class is deeply overvalued, not when it is deeply undervalued. So that is the problem. That's why I recommend everyone to follow asset allocation. Because I want people to follow counter-cyclical asset allocation, which means when an asset class is deeply undervalued, like 2001-2 in equity, can you gather the guts and be 100% in equity?